Let's try this again. I'm Charlene Flores. I'm a designer based out of Puerto Rico. I spent the last week at South by Southwest here in Austin. I'll be leaving tonight. So I just wanted to do like a recap of what I did here, what I liked, what I didn't like. And yeah, so now that we did that. So I really liked just meeting all sorts of different people and just validating a lot of my thought processes that I'm using to build my design studio. So that made me really happy because there was a lot of talk about, you know, a big buzzword right now is authenticity, right? But what even is that anymore? And keeping things human. So that resonated. I loved all the talks about authenticity, not anti-AI, but balancing workflow and day-to-day creative work, design work, output production in the age of AI, because AI can be used a lot for literally anything. I think as that grows, you're able, I mean, they're making robots. There's a bartender robot at South by Southwest that here I didn't get to meet the robot, but I heard about him. I'm sure there's some videos floating around, but it's a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot going on. A lot of energies, a lot of good energies. But what I loved, my takeaways for me as a creative was the validation. That the way I want to operate, the way that I want to serve clients, the way that I want to build this business makes sense. Because if you're hearing it from the greats, right, from people who've been doing it for way longer than I have independently, are saying it, then it's validation for me. So what were some of those things? Today, I enjoyed the talk by Good Type. So Good Type, I've been a fan for a while. It's very lettering, typography focused group, and you can look them up. But I forget the name of the actual people that were on the panel. It's 3 of them, 2 women, 1 man. But they were all doing such great work. And what I loved was that they really hammered on the fact that sameness or like that minimal or like boring design is just out. Like to really like stay creative, stay you know, growing as someone who creates, you can't just do the same. So like, which I always say, like, you know, when you get a client who, you know, you can gather inspiration from brands you want to be similar to, you want to see what your competitors are doing, but you want to like harness that and then turn it into something of your own, because there are so many people, like when you go get a tattoo, you show a reference, like the tattoo artist should never just literally copy that and put it on you. It's like branding, right? If it's something good, it'll be there for a very long time. You don't want it to look just like your competitors, because then you're not setting yourself apart. So that was really cool to hear about, and I think it's inspiring me to bring out some of the things that I've been working on the sidelines. So for example, my design studio has been getting a lot of traction in the like luxury minimal I've been getting a lot of jewelry, med spas, Airbnbs, real estate agents, and yoga studios, Pilates studios that want to work with me because of my aesthetic alone. Just because of my aesthetic, because of the work that I'm putting out. And right now it's very minimal, it's very clean. I use a lot of visuals that are nature, so that's kind of like what gives it its oomph. But I do want to start introducing a little more playfulness to the brand, because I'm not like a serious person. I'm not like, I am, but I'm not. I want to show an elevated brand with a sense of whimsy, if that makes sense. So slowly but surely, I'll start building that out because I see a lot of the beige. No, I don't want to offend anyone. There's a lot of that beige and serif, minimal, elegant, designer type branding, and I see it all over IG, and there's so many agencies that are doing the same thing now. And don't get me wrong, I love that aesthetic, but I like that mixed with a little bit more meat, more whimsy, a little more character, and that's sort of where I'm gonna put my studio so that I could attract people who want an elevated feel, but not so bland and dry. There's a time and place for that, but the brands that I want to work with, sort of like this hotel, like you have a very specific look, but it's still playful. There's still color. There's still like accents. You don't have just like white walls or beige walls and like white sofa. Like it's not just beige. Like I'm kind of over that look. I like things with a little more character. So I definitely want to bring that into the brands that I build, websites that I design, so on and so forth. And that talk was the push I needed because they brought up some brands like Casper, for example, the Casper phenomenon, which is like all the mattresses that started branding, their brands were very like minimal. They all kind of look the same. They all kind of leaned into that like navy color. And there's a typeface that's a little bold, but not too bold. Very sans serif and whatever. So I love that talk. And then I really enjoyed listening to Andy Pearson of Liquid Death. He was talking about, well, he's kind of like, well, he is kind of anti-AI. And he was actually speaking in a similar way that I was speaking in one of my recent videos. And that is that humanizing in this age, the age of AI, is so important because you know, you're all excited about using all the tools and oh my god, I could do this, it could do that, it could do anything you tell it to. And creatively, for those who can't execute, it's great because if you don't have a skill to draw or design or anything, but you know how to concept, you're gonna have a great time. But not only does that kill jobs and like that, you lose that craftsmanship of a designer, illustrator, someone that's actually doing it by hand. That takes hours sometimes, you know, to land on the right idea. Whereas now that's just, that production time is just shrinking. You, not only because you're killing jobs, but humanity as a whole, like you're kind of losing yourselves a little bit. So he was talking about that and I loved it. And you know, he in his company, so in Liquid Death, but it's not his company, he's like the VP of marketing, I think. He even said something that I was saying like recently, which is, you know, you try to like make your pictures look almost like kind of like not too perfect because since AI can do that so easily, like very polished photos, very like just perfect imagery, visuals, it almost looks glossy. He said that with some of the Liquid Death shoots, he was telling them like, how can we like mess this up a little bit, you know, because even bigger companies now are trying to like lean into a little more of a rugged look. And this was a theme on the several talks that I went to. I went to a lot of the brand identity talks. I was kind of over the AI thing. That AI talk was called beating the AI slop. So that's why it attracted me, because I knew it was gonna sort of have some commentary on all the AI slop we're seeing, and I'm very much like on the other side of adopting that. And I can safely say that I've never used any AI visuals in any of my Instagram posts of my own personal brand. If it's something that I want to put my logo on, I'm not going to use AI. It's just not going to happen. So I haven't done that, and I don't think I will. Even now, I'm working on some characters for my brand. Like, I want to have some characters sprinkled throughout my brand to give it that whimsy, and I'm actively looking for an illustrator now, an animator that can create some animated visuals in the future with some of the ones that I've already drawn up. Apparently, you can use Claude to animate your characters. I might dabble into that, but with my own drawings, right? See how far I can get. But to flesh out the drawings, I was thinking either get an illustrator to refine them or just use them as they are, because the rawness and the not so perfectness of my drawing, it's kind of giving it a little character. So I think I've shared the drawing before, and I have a few others that I've drawn on my iPad, but they're not very good by any means. You can tell they were hand drawn. And so I was like, well, now I feel like I should just use them as they are, because I did order some stickers, so we'll see how those came out and then test those out and see how they do, if people like them, if I like them. But then, yeah, I went to some shows. I saw All American Rejects, which was interesting. I haven't listened to them since I was like, I don't know, years ago, but there was a big fan when I was a teenager. And so then I went to see Jack Johnson and Manuel Gutierrez, and then I caught like some other indie bands over at, I think it was called Hotel Vegas, and it's just like show after show after show after show. You'll be walking down the street to, catch a session or something, and you just hear music everywhere, which is really cool during the day and at night. Just everywhere you go, different shows, different talks, running here, running there. So I really didn't explore much more of Austin than what was here, because there's just so much to do. And then I think so Sunday I just hung out by the pool, hung out, didn't do very much. I just worked on some stuff that I needed to work on. So I am so excited to get home. I'm excited to go home to my dog. I wish he was here. Dogs were allowed at this hotel, but I thought that I wasn't gonna have time in between. But honestly, I had time to walk him in between. So I was kicking myself. I was like, he should have been here. And he would have had such a great time. I act like he would even know what's going on, but he loves traveling. I know he does. So I regret not bringing him, but I do know that he's having a great time with my grandma and my aunt. They're like spoiling the crap out of him, feeding him chicken and carrots. And I'm happy to see him tomorrow. So yeah. But no, yeah, this was such a fun trip. I can't wait to get home and keep working on my stuff. It was super inspiring, and I'm just excited to get back and implement some of the ideas that I've gathered. And yeah. Oh yeah, so the other thing that I recorded this video so many times that I forget what I talked about already and what I need to talk about still. But the other thing that was really inspiring was meeting a bunch of people who had been in corporate before, who had done the agency thing and all that. And then we're here, sort of, they had the agency life thing like I am doing right now, and then shifted into their own companies and design studios and doing all sorts of different things. So that was super inspiring as well. But yeah, that was the last thing I wanted to say. But yeah, have a super early flight tomorrow. I'm praying that everything goes well, because airports have been crazy with TSA strikes and stuff. But I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm gonna get there like 3 hours early, so hopefully that's early enough. But yeah, thanks for watching. The next video I'm planning to be about what I would do if I branded X hotel. So I'm gonna pick a hotel from Puerto Rico or like a boutique hotel, which is out where I want my focus to be, and how I would rebrand it, how I would rebrand it and market it. And that'll be a fun post to do. Yeah, let me know if you came out to South by Southwest, what you did, and or if you have any questions. I'm gonna do some stuff now. Thanks for watching.